and welcome back for part 2 of Gundam Online major update, I guess, UC0096 translated with me, Polo Dash. In that last video, we went over the system updates. Now I am going to attempt at doing the unit buffs and nerfs. I'm not sure if you noticed the passage of of time since the last video here from my system clock, because I went and looked through all the units to see what units are worth noting, because most of the changes that's been done to the units are like the same, except some units stands out. And I went, oh motherfucker. But because I'm tired, I decided to close. I decided to because see, you can expand each page. I'm a moron. And I kept open the ones that were worth noting, but because it's past 3 a.m. and I should be going to bed because I had a hard day's work today, I went and closed it to like get rid of all the color on my screen. Oh well, it's okay. I think I remember what units. But first of all, the first tab is the changes across all units. So that's what we're going to go over first. And this change is significant, I think. So the first category here is the system type changes. The system kind changes. It says currently in the game there are two kinds of like hit effects that can happen to your mobile suit during play. One, as everyone knows, is knockdown. Everyone is very familiar with knockdown. You get hit with that 10,000 points of damage from that Alex bazooka, you get knocked the fuck down, and you cry because he Gatling guns you to death. Alright, and the second effect that can happen to you is stun, where if you take a certain amount of damage, your unit just kind of goes for a split second, unable to move for like a quarter of a second. Okay. They are thinking about, well, they will be adding an additional effect called stagger. I'm gonna call it stagger because these are kind of similes. They're just the same thing said differently. But because it's been called in English stun, the current animation where you pause for a second, this new one's going to be called stagger, which is going to be something that's going to be in between knockdown and stun. I'm going to go into detail about the changes. It's going to be we're going to be talking about. I'm going to be translating this additional effect and also the changes that's going to be done to that's going to be made to the thresholds, the damage thresholds for these effects to happen. The first is knockdown. This is pretty ridiculous. For you to get knocked down, if your mobile suit's feet is on the ground, it's planted on the ground, you'll be knocked down if you take over 3,000 points of damage. It's just 30,000 here because the damage stat for weapons is the in-game damage is the weapons damage stat number divided by 10. So if a weapon with a damage stat of 30,000 per shot, over 30,000 per shot, hits you, you get knocked down. Not too many suits have hit points over 3,000. I can probably count the number of suits that do with a single hand, and that is with like deck bonuses and the item bonus. Not too many suits have straight up 3,000 hit points, but with this new system, in order for you to get knocked down, you have to take over 3,000 points of damage. The chances of you surviving 3,000 points of damage is very low. You'll probably just die instantly. But if you manage to survive, your ass is on the ground. Or instead of just taking 3,000 points of damage instantaneously, if your suit while on the ground was in stagger animation, and in that time you take over 1,000 points of damage, you'll get knocked down. Okay, we haven't gone over how much damage you need to take to stagger. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. It's 1,000 points of damage, over 1,000 points of damage. So basically, if you stagger twice, you're getting knocked down. Not too many suits have over 2,000 base hit points. so you're probably still dying anyway. There are like a handful of suits. I can probably count the number with both hands and maybe a foot. Number of suits that has over 2,000 hit points. But regardless, if you take 2,000 hit points twice, the second time while you're still in the stagger animation, you're getting knocked down. Or you're getting knocked down if you were in the air and you take over 300 points of damage. That's still the same. During knockdown, you will be unable to do anything until your suit completes the getting up animation. That's what this says. So this means charging beam rifles are still king. Yay! And who knows how the fuck you're gonna get knockdowns on the ground? You can't. They're basically going, you know what, knockdowns are a bad idea. We're not doing it anymore. Alright, so stagger. Stagger is what they added between knockdown and stun. To get staggered, your suit, while on the ground, has to take over 1,000 points of damage. Or, if your suit was in stun animation, and during that time you take over 300 points of damage, you go into stagger animation. Or, while you're crouching, you take over 2,000 points of damage, you'll be in stun or stagger animation. And during stagger animation, your suit will be unable to do anything for a certain moment. It doesn't specify how long stagger lasts, but I'm assuming it's longer than stun. Okay, so let's head again to stagger animation. And stun hasn't been changed. Stun is what happens now when you take that, bazooka type F damage, regular bazooka type F damage. While your unit is on the ground, you take over 300 points of damage, you'll be stunned. Or if you're crouching and take over 600 points of damage, you're stunned. And during stun animation, while you're stunned, you won't be able to move or do anything for like an instant, like a quarter of a second. It's what you experience during game right now when your guy goes but still remains standing. In the current system, if you take 2 stuns, you get knocked down. But they added this stagger in between these two. Still sounds like it'll be pretty hard to get knockdowns. The easiest way I can think of right now for you to get knocked down while your opponent is on the ground is if you do like the 2-part melee. Where you can hit with the 2-part melee both times. But usually, if you're hitting with the 2-part melee both times, that unit is dead, like 99% of the time. So, I guess they're eliminating ground knockdowns, basically. That's what they're trying to say. 'Cause they thought it was a bad idea. They realized it was a bad idea. I don't know. My opinions don't matter. So we're just gonna keep going. Certain units can get knocked down or staggered. Certain artillery units, those units without legs, that's probably what they mean. There are some weapons that auto knocks down, like combat programs. If two or more weapons were to strike an opponent at the same time, those the damage from all those weapons that struck in the same instant will be totaled and be compared against the thresholds. So GLAs are still knocking your ass down on the ground. That's what they're saying. Or, you know, if certain weapons, well, not even from a single suit, but like, you know, if 6,000 points of bazooka damage struck you, two bazookas dealing 6,000 points of damage struck you at the same time from two different sources, I guess you're getting staggered because it's over 1,000. But also note that, you know, I say these hard numbers, but these numbers are affected by your unit's balance. That's the same. So you get bonuses or penalties depending on your unit's load. Changes to mortar weapons. Mortar weapons, when you use them, you could zoom in and out of the map with your mouse wheel. That sounds useful. Blur effect changes. They're going to reduce the amount of blur that happens when you take explosive damage. That sounds good, because that shit hurts my eyes. Unit, weapon, and unit trait kind of changes. Changes to unit trait combat custom. Alright. Combat custom currently improves damage, reduces boost capacity, and also reduces the number of recover frames after the dash attack animation. This change, this implementation to combat custom will make combat custom reduce the recover frames only if you strike your opponent with the dash attack. This is basically so that you can't dash attack move as efficiently with a level 5 combat custom Pixie, for example, or an Ifrit Noct. You still can do it, but you're doing it slightly slower, and you'll be vulnerable during the recovery frames because it still counts as you being in dash attack. It doesn't mention, actually here it doesn't mention the currently when you're in dash attack, your threshold is reduced to your knockdown threshold is reduced to your stun threshold. It doesn't mention this in here, so I'm wondering if that's been removed or if that's still in place. It doesn't say, so I don't know. But currently, while you're dash attacking, you are vulnerable to knockdown from less damaging weapons because your knockdown threshold gets reduced to your stun threshold. I wonder if that'll stay a thing. I hope so. Okay, and also the battle assist module that reduces the recover frames from dash attacks. Same thing. The effect will you only get the bonus if you strike your opponent, which kind of makes this battle assist module kind of not worthwhile anymore. I don't use it anyway, so it doesn't affect me. But for those that do, you can try, and I'll laugh. Unique module added to these two suits. These are the. I mentioned I was going to mention this later in the previous video, and these is it. The Aksaku and the Aksaku Mallet Custom are getting the magnet coating unique modules, which will make them switch weapons faster and reduce the landing stun when you land on the ground from the sky in this game. You got this like recovery animation happens as your suit cushions his fall, his landing with his legs. You can't do anything while he's doing that. It's like the same duration as like stun, but you're extremely vulnerable when you're in this animation, especially against snipers. Snipers will aim to hit you while you're in landing stun. Aksaku and Aksaku Mallet Custom gets their frames reduced with this unique module. And I think in the other page it mentioned that after the update, all your like saved setups for these two suits, the modules will be resetted for all your setups. You have to like reset the modules again for these changes to get these changes to take place. Okay. The GM Night Seeker 2 will now also be space capable. It used to be ground only. Now it's both. Yay. Let's see. This is changing the minimum lock-on distance. Changes. This isn't as bad as it sounds. What this change is currently, no matter the maximum range of your weapon, all weapons can at least lock onto units that are 600 distance units away from you. So like even if your shotgun is like 200 range, maximum range, you can still lock onto a unit that's 600 range away. But they're going to change this minimum to 300. So in this example it says the training head Vulcan has a base range of 480. Currently, even though this thing's range is only 480, it can still lock onto units that are 600 range away. But in the next update, it'll be the maximum lock-on range will be its maximum effective range, 480. Or if your weapon is maximum effective range is less than 300, you'll still be able to lock onto things that are 300 range away. Like shotgun type M is 270. You'll still be able to lock onto things that are 300 away. That's what this is saying. This is a good change for me because I get confused at if I'm within range of a unit or not, because I just kind of lock on spam. Okay. Some weapons will lose the ability to lock on. Like these three things. The stealth mode on Ifrit Nacht can't lock on the units. The Frisia Yard on the GOG, you won't be able to lock on the units because they're not weapons. Also, grenades will lose lock-on function because you throw them. Okay. This is like explosive debuff weapons. Effective distance changing edition. Great job, Holodash. Way to translate word for word. So this is what they're saying here is the duration of debuffs from explosive debuff weapons. Yeah, the duration will degrade as the unit is further away from the point of the weapon's impact. So the further they are away from the center of the splash, the less time they'll be debuffed. If you strike the unit, they're taking your full debuff duration is what this is. That's a change that makes sense. So like, you know, it's gonna affect my Gigan, for example. If I hit that Fred Pixie with the outer rim of its splash, then he's only going to be affected by the fire for like a second or two, I guess. That kind of sucks, but that makes sense. And I'll be shouting I'm on fire less, I guess, in the game. Non-scope sniper weapons will shoot even more inaccurately while unscoped. Good. Changes to camera guns. Camera guns will only tag one unit within the reticle. The unit that is closest to the center. Unlike now, where they'll tag everything in the circle, which is dumb. I was hoping, I mean, the preview mentioned this change, but I was hoping it would be like you have to actually zoom in with the camera to get tags, but no. Atlas is better. Okay. The semi-automatic machine guns weapon firing effect changes. Semi-automatic machine guns, the firing flashy muzzle blast effect will look differently than their automatic counterparts. I'm assuming so that you can catch macroers easier to report to the BAMCO authorities. Some people macro it so that you can fire your semi-automatic machine guns fully automatic using mouse macros. So you can, I guess, record it and report it easier because you'll be able to tell that it's a semi-automatic machine gun this way. I'm assuming that's why they made this change. Because they rarely do anything aesthetic in this game for a good, for a positive purpose. The commander abilities changes. Changes to the commander's bombing and carpet bombing abilities. They will now focus their bombing runs, or they'll target primarily radar pods and anti-mortar cannons over units. I'm not sure if that's a good change or not. I wonder if they're targeting mobile suits primarily right now. I don't even know. I thought they just bombs random spots. But now when you're getting healed by that repair guy under the umbrella of an anti-mortar gun placed next to the repair pod that you're standing next to, you'll be bombed to hell by commanders. Yay! Okay, so that is the overall changes to all units. Now we want to go over the changes to the various, individual units, but we don't have to go through all of them because they're all the same, the changes. So I had this and this open, I think, and I think it's a GM trainer open, and then I had this open, and I think that was it. And then like a bunch of units worth mentioning down there, but we'll catch them as we go. The majority of the changes focuses on improving the output damage of machine gun weapons, automatic weapons, beam rifles, and making grenades way less, and giving debuff explosive weapons a longer debuff duration, I guess, to make up for the nerf, or the weapon, the effect degradation nerf. So for example, the GM the GM here, his grenades, these are grenades, they're now way less. Like grenade type M, 240 to 90. I don't think there has been a weapon that weighed less than 100 in this game yet. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but now grenade type M weighs 90. The various grenades weigh just way less, and they're easy to carry around. They're not a liability anymore. You can kind of carry them as a support weapon instead of having to like kill your balance. Even the impact grenades, those grenades that explode on impact, they weigh way less. So you can kind of use them, make use of them now. They're worth carrying. And machine gun weapons, I think fully automatic weapons, machine gun weapons, most of them has been improved. The damage has been improved by 50, whereas fully or semi-automatic, or not semi-automatic, the 3-burst machine guns, their damage output has been improved by 100. So we're gonna go to the heavy, the initial production GM, which is a heavy class. Also, the overall changes to heavy classes are the same, in that most heavy classes got a boost to speed, and also they got their boost consumption reduced. In this game, non-assault classes take a penalty to boost consumption for whatever reason. So like technically, non-assault classes got less boost cap than what is shown in their attribute. What do you call it? Less boost cap than in what's shown in like the list of attributes, because they consume their boost bar faster than assaults. So like if an assault and a non-assault had the same amount of boost cap, let's say 1500, the assault technically has more boost because the other one with the 15 is the same amount consumes it faster. So I'm hoping that this change, this reductions to boost consumption, puts it on par, puts heavy classes on par with assaults. With their boost consumption. Man, I'm getting tired. I'm forgetting what I've said. This is bad. I need to finish this. And also, most units got a armor buff, a slight tiny armor buff between 50 to 150. Some got like a meager like 10 or 20. But like here, right, the GM got like 100 extra points of armor here, and the first production GM got 120 points of armor. You know, various units got between 50 to 150 points of armor. But right, so 3 burst machine guns, like I said, 100 extra points of damage across the board for most. I think these semi-automatic weapons got 150 points extra damage. Beam rifles, most beam rifles got 400 extra points of damage. Automatic and 3 burst beam rifles got 200 extra damage across all units that have them. Also, 3 burst weapons, 3 burst machine gun weapons got their rate of fire improved. So like they're firing their 3 bursts in a tighter grouping from 1460 to 1484. That's faster than like the fastest firing fully automatic machine gun right now, I think. And also 3 burst machine guns, when you can fire each burst faster than before. What's the gap between each shot has been shortened. So like the faster you click, now you can like click furiously and get those bullets faster than you were getting them out before. So basically 3 burst machine guns got stronger. But the disadvantage of 3 burst machine guns is that you do have to keep clicking, which throws off your aim. That's why I like maxing my 3 burst machine gun lock on, so that I can just click away and just keep my target crosshair over the profile of the Gundam that I'm shooting at, like with my Black TriStar Zaku. Also, semi-automatic machine guns also got their rate of fire improved, their rate of click improved. Beam rifles have also been made more accurate. That's another thing. I think all their accuracy been improved by 20 across the board for all suits that use beam rifles. Also, Type H beam rifles got their recoil reduced. It's not like they have any recoil at all, but I don't know. I guess they needed to add something extra to make up for the Type H's lack of damage. Type H weapons have superior stats in every way besides damage, and considering that damage is everything, Type H weapons generally suck. You're only using Type H weapons for like a specific few suits that I can't remember right now. We're not gonna go over that. Also, he's got jamming grenades, and like I said, the debuff duration for these blast radius debuff weapons has been improved to make up for that nerf mentioned earlier. GM Trainer, there's been changes to radar pods. You can carry more. And their effect duration has been halved for whatever reason. So it means the GM trainer can replace those pods more often than before, but they're disappearing twice as fast. It kind of sucks. Guessing this is so, and this is me being all, this is me being a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's so that even though that the dash melee has been nerfed, because the effect of the combat custom and the the module that reduces the recovery frames has been nerfed. You think that those suits that like running based by using dash melee will have a harder time, but in actuality, since they have to go through less radar because they're disappearing twice as fast, they still have like an equal chance to do what they were doing before. Because Bamco knows that those are the guys that spend the most money in this game. That's me. That's my conspiracy theory anyway. But you can just take it for the hard numbers. The radars they've been nerfed by half. Artillery classes, their howitzer weapons has been buffed by I think 500. Yeah, these are howitzer weapons. Only the howitzer weapons that don't have like debuff effects, like not incendiary ones. So the regulars howitzers got their damage buffed. Incendiary type M's got their blast radius improved, but not like type N or type W. Just only type M got their blast radius improved. And is there anything worth noting? I'm gonna go through. I can't remember. I don't think there was anything in the gun tank. Nope. Oh, the Aqua Gundam. Aqua Gundam also got their damaged, the beam rifles damage improved by 400, like everything else. But just a note, I want to note that Aqua Gundams, their beam rifles do 25% more damage in the water. So that's like buff times 25%. That's proper math, but you know what I mean. This buff improves the damage output on the Aqua Gundam more than others because of their 25%, because their damage is improved by a percentage. And the harpoon guns has been buffed in some ways, but I personally think harpoon weapons are useless, so I don't know, if you use them, they're stronger now. Have fun. What else? Right, so howitzer weapons has been improved, but grenade launchers haven't. I didn't see a damage improvement in grenade launchers, so the cold climate GM, its grenade launcher is it used to be awesome, but it's been nerfed, and it's gonna stay that way for 0096, unfortunately. Was there anything else? Prototype Gundam. Right, the Prototype Gundam and the first production Gelgoog, their fully automatic beam rifles deal more damage than most others, just a note. So their buff has more impact than other beam rifles. Just noting. And also noting that, I'm going to also note now that fully automatic type F weapons, I think, do benefit most from the 20 extra to their accuracy, because FAF beam rifles, seriously, on the move, they just fire their bullets, their beams everywhere, and you never hit anything, and you only get 10 shots per clip. But now, I don't know, maybe with this change, they might be a more effective weapon. Still think fully automatic regulars is goodest, but I don't know, it's got to be tested, and we're not at that stage yet. Gonna have to wait till the 26th. Hey, balls and Alcos, they got 150 points extra armor. That's more than most. I think. But that's it. Anything else? No. Power GM. Blue Destiny. Was there anything significant about this guy? The only thing significant about the Blue Destiny is that, like the Aqua Gundam's 25% damage boost in the water, the Blue Destiny and other exam suits get a damage boost while they're in exam, so they're going to benefit more from buffs. Because, yeah, their damage improvement in their exam mode is from a percentage. And that's about it. The Gundam 2 gets an extra weapon. Yes. They get howitzers. I think it was like... I think are Gundam 2's heavies? No, they're artillery units. There were artillery units that didn't get howitzers. It was weird. But now they got them. 120mm rifle howitzer cannon. Cool, Japan, and your knowledge of weaponry. But that's what it's called. The Shimoda custom only gets their speed boost for being a heavy. I don't know what other weapons it carries, but if they had beam rifles, they got fucked. I can't remember. The GM custom, I think, was worth noting because he has the GM rifle, which is a fairly it's like a improved 3-burst machine gun. I think, yeah, because Type N 3-burst machine guns, their base damage usually 900, or if it's a high cost unit, is 1,000. GM rifles is an extra 50. So I guess that's like a thing. And they get other buffs, you know, like their tighter grouping and faster rate of fire and stuff. So the GM rifle is stronger than before, and I think the GM rifle, people say, is a pretty decent weapon, except for the it takes a long time for it to draw it out compared to like regular 3-burst machine guns or machine guns in general. Is there anything improved in Gundam? Not really. They got their beam rifles improved. Oh, yes. Also, like certain howitzer weapons, most howitzer weapons got their lock-on distance reduced, which doesn't make much of a difference. The only thing significant about having the ability to lock onto units is that when you lock onto a unit, they show up on the radar. And considering that howitzer weapons have a fairly long range, the range isn't displayed in the stats, but it's just assumed they got really long range. You can log onto units that are like really far away and get them to appear on radar. So you're able to do that with howitzer weapons. Not that, like, it's not like something that you abuse, just something you can just do for the funnies. But now you can't do that anymore. I don't know how much they've been reduced, but they've been reduced, I guess, enough so that you can't have fun anymore. This had something. The G-Line standard frame. Right, so G-Line standard frame, their short beam rifles is like a beam weapon. And it fires like an automatic when you equip the akimbo mode. So you can carry 1 or 2, right? Single or akimbo mode. And the akimbo mode, its damage has been improved by 100. It's times 2, so it's in accordance with other fully automatic beam rifle buffs, 200 extra damage. But the standard frame's short beam rifle also gets an additional bonus or buff to range, because they had short range to begin with. But I guess having a 510 range on a Type F weapon is helpful, because longer range equates to better accuracy at shorter ranges. Gun Cannon 2 got the same buffs as everybody else, but no buff to their shoulder cannon, only to their handheld cannon, because that shit don't need to be buffed. The almighty gun cannon the mass-produced gun cannon WD. Right? They got the speed buff, like other heavies. But you know, no changes to charging beam rifles for anybody. So he's still the way he is. But charging beam rifles, I feel in this 0096 update, I think will still be a powerful weapon because the knockdown threshold for units in the air hasn't been changed. So a primary source of anti-air knockdown is going to be through charging beam rifles, and gun cannon, mass-produced gun cannon WD still have it, and they got the means to pound away at the dude that fell from the sky with their plethora of dual-mounted cannon weapons. Okay, so you can still enjoy yourself with your free-to-get gun cannon WD. Oh, you Federation guys. Yep, no changes. No. Oh. Was it this guy? No, it was the WD. I want to see on the WD. That's interesting though. The WD gun cannon gets dual Uzis, and they're a machine gun weapon, but they haven't been changed. I think other suits, even dual-wielded, got buffs, but not the WD. Kind of like the short beam rifle for the standard frame. So fuck you. Which is a shame, because the dual Uzis it looks cool when this guy uses it, but nobody uses it because it's crap, and it's gonna stay crap, so it's gonna stay unused. It's a shame. The Gundam Pixie. Just generic changes to its machine guns. Its melee is good enough, and apparently not superior enough to be nerfed. That's fine though. The Gundam Pixie isn't really like people complain about it, but it's a melee suit, you know. It does its thing. But the Gundam Pixie is going to be that suit that has the ability to single-handedly knock down units in this new meta with his two-part melee. But usually, like I was saying, if you strike a unit with both hits in the two-parter, they're usually dead. So, whatever. You're still killing your guys just the same way you were before. The Gundam Unit 5 with his Gatling gun, that counts as a machine gun weapon, and that's been buffed. But like other fully automatic machine gun weapons, by 100 points of damage. Yay. But the giant Gatling gun's rate of fire has been improved, and it's it's gonna fire faster. I don't think the giant Gatling gun's rate of fire can be changed. Like it can't be upgraded. But I don't know. It's been improved, so you can't complain. Anything else? Oh, the Gundam Unit 1 or the Gundam Alex, the NT1. It's 4 a.m. guys. Right, so everybody else got their machine gun improved, except for the Gundam Alex, because fuck him. So that's the end of him. But the Gundam Alex has prototype Gundam tier beam rifles, but you won't use a beam rifle on an Alex, so I guess you shouldn't care. But maybe with this extra damage buff on their beam rifles, the output might outdo the Gatling gun now, but who knows? It's yet to be tested. Okay, considering that the assault gun tank's flamethrower doesn't have a blast radius, no changes. The Fred Pixie. Right, so machine guns and grenade changes, blah blah blah. Major change on the Fred Pixie is that it's high output beam dagger A3 dual wielded. Its rate of climb has been limited. It doesn't say like removed. limited, so you'll still be able to get airborne with it, but by a certain limited amount. So I guess we'll have to see how much they nerfed it on the update date. Also, its motion on the other various melee weapons has been changed, but no clue as to what kind of changes. Just it says motion changes to its other weapons. Okay. The G-Line light armor was worth mentioning because its heavy rifles got buffed. The damage output buff, like other beam rifles, 400 points of damage extra. But not only that, their beam rifles can now fire faster. You can click out shots faster, and the number of shots per mag has been improved by slightly. Heavy rifle Type N got an extra round. Type M got 2 extra, and Type M got 2 extra rounds. So, total amounts of bullets carried, or shots carried, has been increased to complement this change. I think that extra round is going to help the GLA, because people complained that 5 shots isn't enough. Okay, heavy armored Gundam. Right, same changes, speed change because it's the heavy. Pell Rider. The Pell Rider is another one of them that's going to benefit from damage buffs because he can go into like that exam kind of mode. I think I'm looking at the 6th MS team's ground Gundam, which gets the Gundam Hammer, which is that charge weapon. Like the Zakuto Kais. I think they can deal over 3,000 points of damage, but usually a fully charged Gundam Hammer kills things. The Gundam prototype, the GP01. There was something significant about this guy. Right, the GP01 actually got a speed buff. The only class that's been getting the speed buff so far in this major update are heavies, but the Unit 1, or the GP01, got a speed buff. And they boost consumption reduction. I guess they're considered heavies. I don't know. I don't know why. I've never flown one, so I guess people that own the GP01 can understand why these changes were made. Oh, also the long beam rifle on the GP01 got 2 extra shots. These aren't replenishable, so these 2 extra shots are probably going to count for something. But no one uses long beam rifle. I'm assuming because you only get 2 shots. But then you got 4, so I don't know. We might see more then. The GP01 full Burnian, right? The full Burnian mode doesn't get a speed buff. It's the same. Okay. This is the Gundam GP04. What does SB stand for? Stern booster. Oh, it's what the vomit ray. This thing's got the same thing as the Shima Gelgu. Its range has been improved, and so has Shima's. That's gonna make a big difference. Because 180 just wasn't enough. It wasn't fair that the Tetra gets 300 range while these guys were stuck with the 180. It was either going to be like reduce the range of the Tetra or improve these guys' range, and these guys got improved. I was hoping that the Tetras will be reduced. Didn't happen. But 240 will make it more competitive, along with Shima. But I think the GP04 is going to benefit more because it's got a better weapon array. Anyway, the G3 Gundam. Oh yeah, certain heavy units didn't get the speed buff because a lot of high cost assault, or a lot of high cost heavy units already get assault class booster, including the G3 Gundam. So I think suits that already have the assault class boosters aren't getting their speed boosts. Jim Cannon 2, still useless. They didn't get the buff to their shoulder cannons. Useless. The Gundam Unit 4, which has the Mega Beam Launcher of Doom, got their other beam weapons improved, like everybody else. Ooh, Destiny 3. Yep. Blue Desert 3 is another thing they're going to exam that's going to improve its damage output for its machine guns. It's been buffed. Heavy Gundam. Right. It's like super Gatling gun damage, extra damage. Oh, this is the artillery Gundam, but only buffs to the same buffs like everybody else. No changes to its artillery. The GM Intercept custom is something that's going to benefit from the ultra buff to the weight of the grenades. This guy mains grenades. He has all sorts of grenades, and one of the grenades that he has that is unique to everybody else's grenade is that he can throw 2 grenades at once with the impact twin grenades. These are 2 grenades that explode upon impact. They weighed 560, now they weigh 350. That's huge. This thing deals lots of damage if I remember right. You can even like, I think you were able to like equip, I think you could equip like regular grenades with these or something. There was like a certain combo that you can do with this asshole. I think it was like you can down with the twin grenades, and then like you could throw like a throwable mine or something while the guy's on the ground, and when he gets up he steps on it or something like that. But I'm not sure if you can do that now with the changes to the knockdown threshold, but still, I do remember the twin grenades dealing a decent amount of damage, and the fact that you can carry these things around at 350 weight is pretty decent, I think. So that's a suit to note, in my opinion. I don't even know. I'm starting to go into like, I don't know what these Gundams, the difference between these Gundams are territory. Oh, the GPO3 with his wire explodey like fart launcher. The range on the wires has been improved by across all of its types. So now it can launch its fart wire further and longer. Yay! Oh, their speed has been improved also. That's bullshitty. I guess 360 costs and some 360 cost Gundams got their speed improved because Federation bias. No, I don't know why. G-Mine. Is this also the standard frame? ST? Oh, this is the newer standard. This is the standard armor. Okay, same changes as everybody else. And then I think we've hit Xeon. Okay, and it's 52 minutes on Federation. God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna break it up into 2. So that was Federation. I'm gonna do Xeon next. Yeah. Okay, so Xeon's gonna be split into a 3rd video. So if you want to find out the changes to Xeon, I guess you'll join me next time. Or you can just say forget it. I'll just wait for the update to just do its shit, and I'll just figure it out for myself, which would probably be a better idea. I'm losing my sanity here, sitting at 4:15 a.m. trying to go through this shit, but I'm gonna persevere. You can either persevere with me or just go do something else. Anyway, bye!